It is shortly after 1 p.m. on Saturday, October, what is today, 18th, 2025. I'm just quietly waking up very late today. Was up part of the night just relaxing after a busy work week and spoiling myself by allowing myself to watch Halloween movies late into the night. I think I was up until about 2:45, 3 a.m. One of the movies that I love watching, especially around Halloween, is Harry Potter. The Harry Potter movies are pretty good up until the last two or three, which were kind of dark and not as fun and delightful, but they are great movies, great books. I read the books like 20 years ago when they came out, or 25 years ago now. And like millions of people all over the world, I love the Harry Potter franchise. It is pretty awesome, especially around the holidays. There's a violent piece of shit who seems to have set up headquarters directly below in Unit 76, who I suspect is the same psychopath who's been going back and forth between Unit 78, whose bathroom is located behind this wall right here that seems to be mostly vacant and empty. I never really hear any signs of legitimate occupancy-based activities behind that wall. It's usually just somebody repeatedly slamming and banging things behind that wall when I happen to try to do certain very specific key activities in the privacy of my bathroom or of my living space. And that person seems to travel between the unit below, which is 76, and the bathroom of the unit behind this wall, where they seem to spend an insane amount of time, often blowing and propagating sickening amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke directly from behind that wall for hours at a time, and smacking the wall directly behind my kitchen sink or behind my toilet for hours at a time. Sitting in a tiny, windowless, unventilated bathroom for hours at a time, smacking the wall and smoking and burning narcotics and propagating them into somebody else's living space is not a legitimate occupancy-based activity. And I've been telling this to the Greenville group for years. Their response is always to say, we'll tell the owners about it, because most of the time, this pattern of deliberate surveillance-based aggression, harassment, and harm follows the exact pattern of surveillance-based aggression, harm, and aggression that Jasmine Irizarry, the Greenville Group's paid and sponsored career criminal, sex offender, psychopath, professional harasser, has been engaging in from behind this wall for 11 years now. And her friend and close personal sponsor, Mr. Eliseyev, has repeatedly refused to take action against Irizarry, instead bragging to me that she is so talented at hacking into things that she can hack into anything, she can get into anything. And Mr. Eliseyev made it a point to ignore my concerns and inform me that Jasmine Irizarry can, quote, take care of any problem, make any problem go away, meaning I am one of the problems, and that he's bragging to me that she is able to, quote, take care of me. This is what has been going on since 2013, when Mr. Eliseyev placed Irizarry, who is a verifiable registered sex offender who has a thing for little kids. She's a homicidal psychopath, as per my own personal experience, having done a 1-year rotation at the Shattuck Hospital as part of my PhD program's training back in 2006. And Jasmine Irizarry, the psychopath, sex offender, and career criminal, was an adolescent patient at the Shattuck Hospital back in 2006, who was already showing and demonstrating repeated attempts at homicidal activity towards other patients and staffers by trying to compulsively vomit on people around her to contaminate them with her HIV positive body fluids. Now she lives in this building. She did not go very far. The Shattuck Hospital is located 1.5 miles down the road from this building, where Irizarry, whose hulking shape cannot be mistaken even from a distance, and she was looking like that even back in 2006. She's never been a very attractive person. She resembles a water buffalo. Maybe that's why she's a sex offender, but really, I'm not going to get into the proclivities and causes of sex offenderness right here. All I know is that that piece of shit keeps going back and forth between the unit below and the unit behind this wall, which is actually a bathroom behind this wall. So nobody should be spending very many hours against that wall right there, but they do anyway, because they're an obsessive psychopath and a psychotic reject who has bragged that she's getting paid, presumably by the Greenville Group, to engage in these surveillance-based activities. So people keep saying, oh, it's not possible for surveillance devices to be used in this living space. And, you know, they like to whitewash everything that I say, whitewash it, gaslight it, whatever they can to reduce the credibility of what I experience and note and document on a daily basis in this living space that I'm paying money out of pocket for, and that I'm not getting my money's worth from. Well, of course, it is possible to use surveillance devices anywhere you want. All you need to do is go onto Amazon.com and you will see a wide variety of available surveillance devices purchasable by anybody on the internet at any time with a credit card. Irizarry has bragged that she is an IT expert and a structural engineer who is getting paid to do everything that I keep observing, noting, and documenting that she continues to do. So back to my point, right now, it is shortly after 1 p.m. on Saturday. I woke up randomly, maybe 20 minutes ago. I'm quietly trying to sit here having my coffee, and Irizarry is showing signs of being directly below in 76 and of using the same surveillance devices that dozens of people have told me are being used in this unit. And this has been going on for 10 years. So when I was working 10 years ago at a large corporate center in the Fenway, my coworkers were telling me that they can see what I do in my living space, that my place was a mess. They accurately described washcloths that I would leave on the floor, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, how the hell does anybody know this? This is before I had a YouTube channel. So nobody should have had any knowledge of what the place looked like on any given day. And my coworkers, who were not being nice, they were being kind of nasty. You know, it was one of those workplaces that was very cutthroat, and either you had friends or you didn't. They would tell me that my place is a mess and this and that. Well, this is still going on. So one of the things that I do to prevent Irizarry from having knowledge of what I do on, you know, when I'm sitting here trying to quietly eat. So every time I do that, this triggers that piece of shit directly below into becoming aggressive, violent. She is propagating right now, as I'm making this video, sickening, overpowering amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke into this living space from below. I really didn't think that it could come up from the floor below, but it can. Apparently, if she's, you know, propagating it close enough to the ceiling, as career criminals and professional harassers do. I mean, they're not going to stop at, you know, small details that might prevent them from doing what they need to do to harass you. So she's probably, you know, got it up to the ceiling somehow. And the smoke is coming directly below from where I'm sitting right here, directly below this floor. And whenever I do this, particularly when I am trying to chew or swallow, she gets violent and starts slamming and banging things directly below this floor as I am chewing and swallowing. This is how you know you're dealing with a pedophile sex offender. When you chew and swallow and put things in your mouth as you're trying to eat or drink, and the psycho directly below starts becoming violent, aggressive, and repeatedly intrusive by like smacking things directly below where you're sitting, blowing all kinds of cigar and marijuana smoke into your living space, and also, and this is how you know it's Irizarry, using a directed energy weapon to electronically assault you while you're sitting here quietly trying to have your coffee, then you know that they're obviously using